It's been a year now since Pope Francis was elected. In these past 12 months, no one has been left indifferent, from the unusual circumstances under which he was elected to the so-called Francis effect that's made its way across the globe. At number 1 is help. As he introduced himself to the world, the first thing Pope Francis did up on the balcony of St. Peter's was bow his head and ask for prayers. And so the thousands of people gathered out in the square began to pray for his pontificate.
Vorrei dare la benedizione, ma prima vi chiedo un favore. Prima che il Vescovo benedica il popolo, vi chiedo che voi pregate al Signore perché mi benedica la preghiera del popolo, chiedendo la benedizione per il suo Vescovo.
At first, it was surprising, but soon this became a hallmark of his pontificate. Austerity. His personal style also caught the world's attention, from his dress style to his car. He kept on using the same black shoes he had before the conclave, and also the same silver cross. He refused to use the papal Mercedes, opting instead for an Italian middle-class car. And that happened not just in Italy. In Brazil, during World Youth Day, he also opted for a simple car. The crowds followed as the Pope made his way through the streets of Rio with the windows partly open. Brazilians loved it, but the Pope's security team wasn't that amused. Press conference. Without a doubt, the moment that marked his style was the improvised press conference he gave on the way back from Brazil. With the Vatican spokesman at his side, the Pope had a no-question-is-off-limits presser for about an hour and 22 minutes. And this marked a new chapter. Since then, he has given at least 5 thorough interviews. The sick. The Pope has a special place in his heart for the sick. Before celebrating the first Mass of his pontificate, he stopped the Pope-mobile and embraced an ill person. It was a moving moment, and since then the Pope has repeated the same gesture countless times. Immigrants. The plight of refugees and immigrants who are forced to flee their native country is a major concern of Pope Francis. His very first trip back in July was to the Italian island of Lampedusa, where thousands of immigrants have died in their search for a better life. In his speech, the Pope used very direct words to make his point.
Chi ha pianto per queste persone che erano sulla barca, per le giovani mamme che portavano i loro bambini, per questi uomini che desideravano qualcosa per sostenere le proprie famiglie? Siamo una società che ha dimenticato l'esperienza del piangere.
Peace. As Syria dealt with its civil war and with the threat of an American attack looming, the Pope led a prayer vigil to ask for peace, along with thousands of people. And with his constant appeals for peace in conflict-ridden countries, the Pope was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Endearing. One of the most endearing moments happened at the World Meeting of Families, when this 6-year-old Colombian boy decided he wanted to be next to the Pope at all times, even as the Pope read his speech. But again, the Pope didn't seem to mind. Jokes. When it comes to Pope Francis, there's never a lack of mate tea, since Argentine pilgrims usually offer some to the Pope. So images like this one are seen quite frequently. The Pope usually cracks a few jokes along the way.
Sappiamo tutti che non esiste la famiglia perfetta e neppure il marito perfetto o la moglie perfetta. Non parliamo della suocera perfetta. Sì.
His briefcase. The Pope's schedule is always packed. He has meetings in the mornings and in the afternoons, so it goes without saying that he's always ready to work. The image of Pope Francis carrying his own briefcase as he boarded a plane to Brazil outlined his intentions. He wasn't going to World Youth Day as a tourist, but rather he was ready to get things done. Benedict XVI. The image of 2 popes praying together made its way across the globe. Pope Francis has visited Benedict XVI at least 4 times. The Pope has described him as a wise grandfather he can confide in. The last time they met was during the consistory in St. Peter's Basilica. As the Pope begins the second year of his pontificate, more moving and surprising moments are expected, especially as he heads out to the Holy Land in May, and then in October as he leads the Synod on the Family.